Thanks so much for clicking on this lesson. I know there are a lot of English teachers out there, and you chose to watch my lesson, so it makes me feel very good. We're going to be talking about Texas in this English lesson, but it's not just an English lesson about Texas. We're going to be learning some advanced English vocabulary, practice some English shadowing. We'll also talk about some English phrases that native English speakers use all the time. And yes, those dreaded English phrasal verbs. So sit back, relax for the next 10 or 15 minutes. You are one of my students, and this is my classroom. You might want to take some notes. I don't know. You may want to watch this a couple times because we are going to be digging deep into the state of Texas. We have a saying in the United States that everything is bigger in Texas. We'll see if that's true here. When I say the state of Texas, what's the first thing you think of? For me, it's two things: college football and oil. Texas at one time was known for oil, maybe not so much these days, but when I was younger, there was a soap opera, a TV show called Dallas, and it was on every Friday night. Dallas is one of the big cities we'll be talking about in Texas. And when the theme song to Dallas came on, I had to go to bed. So I have a love-hate relationship with Texas. Sometimes it reminds me of having to go to bed as a child. Other times I think of college football. When I'm talking about football, it's not soccer. It's the one you throw the ball with, even though we call it football. I love college football. I didn't like going to bed early as a child. I love going to bed early now, though. And if you've seen any of the other lessons on the US states that I have done, we are going to look at the simple English Wikipedia page for the state of Texas. And what do you know? We have it right here. I should probably put on my glasses so I don't read anything the wrong way. You can see Texas really big up there. Let's go to some pictures first, though. You'll notice this is the flag for Texas. Can I make it any bigger? I might be able to. That's the flag of Texas. We'll be learning that sometimes Texas, it's actually right there. It's called the Lone Star State. And when you see something like Lone Star, it means like the only star. So maybe you took an English test and you had a lone wrong answer. It would be just one wrong answer. It's kind of like lonely. It's by itself, if that helps you think of the word lone. And every state, every city actually has a seal, and that is the seal of the state of Texas. If you're wondering where Texas is on a map, it's that big thing in red. You can see it's a big state. We'll get to that. And the thing I love about these English lessons that I do like this is that you have the text right in front of you. You have a pretty good reader reading to you. It's almost like a free audiobook. Texas, officially the state of Texas, is a state in the south central region of the United States. It is the second largest U.S. state by total area after Alaska, with 268,596 square miles, and population after California with nearly 29 people as of 2019. Whoa, that's quite the sentence right there. I don't think we should practice shadowing with this sentence, but let's look at what this is saying. We have something called total area. And when we use area in English, it means a flat surface, and square miles is just like how big the state is. It's the second biggest after our biggest state, Alaska. And it's the second most populous state after California. As of 2019, basically, what this page is telling us is that I don't know what the population was in 2020. I'm filming this in 2021, but we do know the population as of 2019. Second paragraph, let me put my Glasses on for this one. Texas became the 28th state in the United States in 1845. Texas has been controlled by Spain, France, the Confederate States of America, and Mexico. Let's talk about the Confederate States for just a second. I can click right here. Basically, the US was in a civil war in the 1860s. It was the North against the South, and the Confederate States of America. Yeah, right there. You see that map right down there? It was the southern part of the United States that was fighting against the northern part of the United States. Now I'm right here where this sentence is highlighted. It declared its independence from Mexico in 1836. It was its own country, the Republic of Texas, for 9 years, from 1836 to 1845. It is called the Lone Star State, and its flag has 1 star. There is actually an amusement park called Six Flags, and it comes from the 6 flags that have flown over Texas because, as we saw, it was part of Spain, it was part of France, it was part of the Confederate States of America and Mexico, part of the United States. It was actually its own country for a little bit. 6 flags have flown over Texas. Next paragraph, highlighted in blue. There are many tourist attractions in Texas. There are many tourist attractions in Texas. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty tricky to say, so let's practice some shadowing. There are many tourist attractions in Texas. If this is your first time hearing about shadowing, what you can do is pause the video right after I say the sentence, and then you practice saying it yourself. There are many tourist attractions in Texas. That's a tough one. All the T's, and it just doesn't flow very well. But if you practice saying it, I bet it's going to help with your English pronunciation. There are many tourist attractions in Texas. Fort Worth is known for its stockyards. Amarillo is known for the cattle business and stockyards. Cattle is another name for like cows, pretty much. Cows, cattle. And a stockyard is a large yard containing pens and sheds. So let's look at that word pen for a second. It doesn't mean something you write with. It actually means a place where you would hold an animal. And right there is a picture of a stockyard. You can see there are cattle and pens, and sheds are actually, those in the back there might be sheds right here, but sheds are usually places where you keep tools. So we've talked about the cities of Fort Worth, Amarillo. So let's go to this one right over here where my cursor is. In Dallas, industrial technology companies, including Texas Instruments and EDS, have their home offices. Texas Instruments, when I was younger, the calculators I used in school were made by Texas Instruments. I do not know what EDS is, but it sounds like it's a industrial technology company. So industrial technology means it's probably using some kind of computer with the technology, and industrial means like a large workplace. Industrial. San Antonio has the Alamo. You want to take a look at the Alamo for a second? There's the Alamo. And it's basically like at one time it was a church, but there was a famous battle that took place there. And it was a fight between the state of Texas, which I think it was a country at the time, versus Mexico. That is when Texas was trying to win their independence from Mexico. Remember the Alamo is a very famous saying in American history. Remember the Alamo. Houston had the Johnson Space Center. Johnson was one of our US presidents, and that's where NASA has a lot of, I was hoping we had a picture, but they train their astronauts there, spaceships. We call them space shuttles. Austin has the University of Texas at Austin. Austin's also the capital. Texas A&M University in College Station. Texas Tech University in Lubbock. Yep, that's pronounced Lubbock. Baylor University in Waco and the University of North Texas in Denton are other important universities in the state. And I know college football isn't that popular around the world, but in some parts of the United States, it is very popular. And those colleges that I just named, or those universities that I just named, all have pretty good football teams. Let's talk a little bit about the geography of Texas. And when we talk about geography, we mean mountains, we mean the size of the state, everything dealing with basically the earth. Geo in English means earth. Graph in English means writing. It's literally maps, writing of the earth, maps. Texas is the second biggest state in the union after Alaska and is bigger than every European country except Russia. It has mountains, forests, deserts, plains, and coasts. The largest river in Texas is the Rio Grande. That's how you say it in English, the Rio Grande. That's how we pronounce it, which forms the border between Mexico and the United States throughout South Texas. The highest mountain in Texas is Guadalupe Peak. And let's take a look at this sentence to show you how rich Texas is with all of its industry, with all of its oil. As a sovereign country, so if it was an independent, free country, sovereign, that's what that means, independent and free. As a sovereign country in 2016, Texas would be the 10th largest economy in the world by gross domestic product, or GDP, ahead of South Korea and Canada and behind Brazil. So I think basically what they're saying is Texas has quite a bit of money. Doesn't that feel good? One English lesson down. Why stop there? Check out this lesson I did about the state of New York. Thanks for watching. See you next time.